FM and also online at mykcr.org.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Grammer. Wounded Warrior Project supports injured veterans by connecting them with fellow warriors, by serving them through mental health and wellness programs, and by empowering them to live on their own terms. No one should face a battle alone. Join us at woundedwarriorproject.org.
To battle is to fight, to struggle, to overcome, and ultimately for the Marine Corps, it means to win. There is no alternative. It's not just a statement of intent. It's a promise to our nation. A promise kept for more than 2 centuries. A promise of the Marines.
Long ago, you wouldn't think of galloping on a horse while doing calligraphy, and you wouldn't have attempted to ride your bike while typing a letter. Yet you think you can safely operate a multi-ton vehicle while texting? Behind the wheel is no place to multitask. If you want to BRB, drive now and text later. Lives depend on it.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Jared Mans from the Spring Lake Fire Department, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
This portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Ulster Savings Bank. Visit their newest branch, conveniently located at the Ulster Commons Plaza in Lake Katrine. Experience the difference that local community banking offers with the convenience of another great location, easy access, plenty of parking, and a 24-hour ATM. Ulster Savings Bank, invested in community, invested in you. Member FDIC.
Usually you stay with the gender. Good morning, folks. We're on Thunder Thursday here.
I got caught up in a little conversation there. Good morning. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. It's good to see everybody out there in Radio Land. Are we seeing them? No, we're not seeing them. We're hopefully going to hear them maybe today. They'll call in. Who knows? This is Tony Marmo.
And this is Val Dwyer. Happy Thursday.
Yeah, happy Thursday. We're here for
October 28th.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's just plugging, trugging, whatever. I can't hardly speak. I haven't had my coffee. That's my problem. So, we're a week out from the Happy Christmas Fund, Lawrence, right? 1 week.
Yes, sir.
Next Thursday.
Yep, looking forward to a big day there. I think we've got a lot of good things in place. I saw the Chambers just sent out a
I saw that. That was awesome. Thanks for doing that flyer, by the way.
Yeah.
Now, who did that? One of your.
Canva. Yeah, she knows nice. Canva, so it was very. And then we got some help from Allison from the Chamber. She put some information on the donate button there, and so it's a good thing.
Good. So you can go. I was on the website yesterday. I think you can click on the tab above that says Happy Christmas Fund.
Right.
And then I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm trying to get rid of that. For some reason, it won't let me delete the Noble Acts thing.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I don't want people to donate to Noble Acts. If you want to donate,
Venmo.
And you go to Lawrence Maxwell at Kingston Community Radio.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to bring up. We'll talk about it after the show. But the Venmo information on the website is I don't think is accurate. So
it's accurate, but the link is not working. So you can. I just donated to Happy Christmas Fund.
You got to go on the phone.
You got to go on the phone.
Okay, so through
that's the way you set it up for me.
Venmo on the phone.
Okay, I was at my desktop. I'm like a dinosaur like that.
Oh,
I don't like to do. I want.
Remember, you did it here for me.
Correct. I did.
You're the one that told me to do it.
I opened the Venmo, but when I went on what I'm saying is when I went on the website.
It's not clickable, is what you're saying.
No, it's not clickable. It just says that you can do it there.
You can just, go on the Venmo.
I think the only way you can donate to Venmo is on your phone, right?
Correct.
Okay,
I don't think you can go.
What I tried to do is I tried to take what it said on the website for the Venmo account and then go on my phone and punch it in my phone in my Venmo app, and it didn't come up.
All right, so
he just donated last night.
I just sent money last night.
He just sent me $100 last night. And the day that you set it up, you sent me $100.
Right. But not. We'll talk after the show.
Right.
We'll talk. I just want to make sure.
So it's Lawrence. It's LAURENC Maxwell at Kingston Community Radio on Venmo. If you want to do that,
I might just be a Venmo idiot. I set it up.
You can't be because you're the one that told me about it. So you're not a Venmo idiot.
Yeah, no,
All
it's a
right,
good
we're
thing.
gonna
So
get
we
the
have a great lineup of people, starting next week. Lawrence and I are going to kick off the morning. It's next Thursday. Then Rick Remsnyder comes on, and Don Williams comes on, Judge Don Williams, retired Judge Don Williams. Crystal Palumbo from Stewart's going to be on right after that. Then Wayne Winkler, Guy Greco from Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union. The Lions Club troupe is coming on, Kevin Gilfeather, John Burlington, maybe Dory Dabney. Then Greg Chorvis and Bob Siracusano. Those are our cleanup hitters. We're the table setters. Then the law enforcement folks coming on, Eric Benjamin, our undersheriff, Chief Berardi, I believe New York State Captain Mario Restivo, Marianne DeGroot, and there might be some other police folks showing up. So that's a big deal. And then 1 o'clock is Jen Fabiano and Evan Rothfuss from Rondout Savings Bank. They'll be on the show today. Actually, Cheryl Bowers will be on today. And then you and I are on it.
Yours truly.
Yours truly on at 1:30. Dr. Ed Alio at 2 o'clock. Ian Horowitz and Dennis Larios, 2:30. Bill Corbies from Ulster Federal Credit Union. Bill Calderera from Ulster Savings Bank. Mario Catalano and Hugh Reynolds at 4 o'clock. And then Cameron Rylance and Nina Postchapak close it up at 4:30. So that's a great lineup of people.
Yes.
We hope to make $100,000.
Buckaroos.
Yeah,
We're going to do it.
We can do it. Yeah, we're getting money in already. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good.
Great idea. I guess when me, Tony, Greg, and Bob, we've been meeting for the last 6 months and going over.
Yeah, got a good plan.
How to get this thing, to $100,000. And that was a good idea.
Sent out Lawrence worked really hard. Sent out 1,100 letters. That's right. Staples. Lawrence, you're not going to believe this, but I'm warm.
Yeah, it's sweater weather. And you haven't said anything. I told you on our last show about my sweater.
Oh, the Be Kind.
I'm wearing a Be Kind sweater
it looks cool.
on behalf of our show.
Yeah.
Saying
Do a random act of kindness. That's a very cool shirt.
Thanks.
I like that.
Marshall's, baby.
You're
That's where I get
kidding.
all my
Marshall's.
Marshall's.
You find that at Marshall's?
Probably like $5.99 or something,
yeah.
but it works.
One of my fave places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you want to shop locally,
There's not many options.
places. Yes, and Home Goods. I don't know
Ross.
about that, but TJ Maxx, Home Goods, Marshalls. That's pretty much all the same. So let's talk about a couple of events we have going on in the community.
Please.
I thought this was pretty cool. We have Wreaths Across America. The Saugerties VFW is going to sponsor a bus trip to Saratoga National Cemetery to remember the fallen, honor those who serve, and teach our children the value of placing wreaths on the grave sites, which I think is a really
That's really
nice,
great.
yeah,
Very good. Yep.
So that's Saturday, December 18th. It's $15 a person. It leaves from the senior center at 5 o'clock. And you can contact Bob Howe at 845-246-8510 if you want more information on that. Again, that's Bob Howe, 845-246-8510. That's a trip up to Saratoga to place wreaths
Nice.
on our soldiers' graves. So that's nice.
really good.
That's cool.
That's really
That's a
good.
cool event. What else we have? This one I looked at and then I kind of threw back in here because I'm in denial that this is Christmas is
snowball.
coming and the Snowflake Festival is
Snowflake.
coming.
Yep.
Friday, December 3rd, 6 to 8, Uptown. That's always a great event.
That's a month away. I hate to tell you that.
I know. It's
crazy.
That's a great event. They got a lot of good stuff. We always enjoy going up there with the kids.
Right.
Really good. And, it's festive. So,
Yeah.
so we have Halloween this weekend.
Right. Hopefully
have-
everybody's safe out there, and
Yeah.
I think it's like last year. Did we had kind of a halfway Halloween because of
I don't remember because I feel like this
COVID?
last year is
Yeah.
a blur.
Right.
I think what people did was they left candy out on the
Yeah, that
on
could
the
be.
steps, and then
Right.
people just kind of. I'm almost positive that's how it went down last year.
Yeah.
And then we have Election Day.
We have Election
on
Day,
Tuesday.
right? We have
voting going
John
on.
Quigley and Ashley Dittus coming on at 7:30. They were on KCR just recently, but We thought it was important to talk about the propositions again. There's a bunch of them this year, and it's local elections, right?
Yep.
Congressional elections.
And I think sometimes those can be sleepers.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
hoping to bring awareness.
Yes.
If you're not happy with what's going on, or if you are happy with what's going on,
Right,
this
exactly.
is your opportunity to speak your mind. And I was going to say pull the lever, but that doesn't happen anymore.
There's a lot of people that decide not to vote. I don't understand that. I don't get it in this country where you have a privilege to do that.
And now there's really no excuse because you can go out 2 weeks ahead of time. And you
early
can go now
voting's
and-
been on
Yep.
for, I think, a week now, right? Or so?
Started Saturday.
A lot of folks.
Started Saturday, so that gives you
Yeah.
about 9-10 days to vote.
And I don't know, can you see, maybe those folks, John and Ashley, can tell us, can you find out the results? I think you can, right? If they, somewhere I thought I heard 30,000
many-
votes being cast somewhere, and whatever, this candidate was way ahead.
Okay.
That's kind of, they shouldn't, I don't think they should
I don't think
divulge
they
that.
should do that.
Yeah.
I do know that they have disclosed how many people have voted. I've heard that. I
But
haven't
not
heard
any
the results.
Okay, all
I haven't
right.
heard the results.
That
That'll
would
be a great question to ask.
That would be a good thing because, if you're like way behind already, or the voters might say,
just-
well,
yeah.
I'm going to stay home because all these votes have been already cast, and my vote's not going to matter.
Yeah.
Which is really not the case at all. But
Right. Right.
I tell people that if you don't vote, you don't have the right to complain. I'm sorry.
And that's just it.
Get in there, register your opinion. This is a country that a lot of people have died for, given their lives for. We just talked about the veterans. I was just at my uncle's 97-year-old uncle's veteran celebration. Rolling Thunder came to Staten Island, and their chapter in Staten Island gave him a medallion, handed out all kinds of stuff to the people. There's like 30, 40 people there, mostly my relatives. It was a great day last Saturday, and
That's great.
and guys like him and others, women, certainly given their lives for the country, and so to not vote, in my opinion, is like just a slap in their face.
Yeah,
Right?
it is. And I also think on another level, there are so many people that have stepped forward this time around to run for something, and that's a major commitment. And just the amount of time they've put it, I just feel we owe it to them to go out and to vote. So
And all the town supervisors are up. So that's a big deal at the local government level, So, we wish everyone good luck in that situation. And, the other thing we like to talk about is there really shouldn't be politics at the local level, per se. It shouldn't be Democrat versus Republican.
Right.
Who's the best candidate? I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, not enrolled. It doesn't matter.
And I think there are. So I know there are. One of the people I've been working on her campaign, Suzanne Timbrook. She's never been enrolled in a political party,
right.
and I believe there's some other candidates as well that are also unenrolled.
Steve
and
Peruso is unenrolled.
I believe he is, and I want to say Pat Garrigan was unenrolled. Didn't he say that? I could be making that up, but I think that says a lot too. Like it's not about I saw a comment on Facebook about somebody was, we can't let this person win this legislator because then the Democrats lose control of the majority. It's like, is that what we're really thinking about? Like, don't vote on
Who's
that.
controlling what?
Just vote on who's the right person.
We know at the national level, that's a big deal. Whatever house controls, whatever party controls what house.
Right, but these are your neighbors.
These are
your neighbors.
Right, family, friends. So vote for the right person. Don't worry if they're Republican or Democrat. And people that blindly go. It doesn't matter if it's Republican or Democrat or other party. I'm not even sure what other parties there are these days. I didn't even know that party existed.
I know.
But so they just.
And I love parties.
Yeah, right. We love parties too. Yeah. Blindly go across the line. Republican. No, wait.
Yeah.
Let's look. Let's see.
Let's take a look.
Just take a look. Yeah. So, speaking about the veterans situation, Bob Willis, I think, had a big shindig last Saturday. It was in the Freeman. Yeah. It was, I think, well covered. It seemed like a lot of folks were there. I know Frank Guido was there because I saw a picture of him, whether it was either on Facebook or somewhere. And so, yeah, and he had a lot of veterans there that were World War II veterans in their 90s, you know, and so that was really great that we keep the spotlight on the veterans and make sure that, you know, they're taken care of. They've given an awful lot. They've sacrificed, which is kind of what, you know, that word sacrifice today is like a word that's forgotten.
It's different, yeah.
It's forgotten.
Yeah.
It's just like a word that doesn't get used, you know. We're going to sacrifice kids. We're not going to do blah, blah, blah. Well, no. Let's
we are, yeah.
Chuck it on the credit card.
I was just going to say chuck it on the credit card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway, how about Concern Kingston? What's going on there?
Nothing. I think, you know, just pushing. Well, you know, unfortunately, we did have last week. There was 7 shots fired on Down Street. So,
I didn't know that.
Unfortunately, we had that happen. So that's a little concerning because we've gone a long time without any activity, and I think the fact that it was 7 kind of, you know, leaves you to question what kind of a gun it was. Certainly doesn't sound like a shotgun, but. Some
automatic weapon of some kind.
Yeah, so that's concerning. Hopefully it's an isolated incident. I know, you know, law enforcement's been working really hard. I'm pretty sure the city just hired some new officers.
Yeah.
From what I understand, and I know, you know, they have to go through training, so that'll be a little while. And I believe they're interviewing more. From what I understand,
assuming they're out there to interview. Assuming they're out there to.
Yeah, they're showing up at their interview. You know, it's crazy you say that. I saw a letter from the school district, you know, to some of the parents saying that they have a teacher shortage and 2 subjects. I know one was Spanish, and I forget what the other one. And I thought, wow, that's really.
Usually, it's like math and sciences are where the shortages are. That usually the languages. There's a zillion people that.
I just find it.
Really. Yeah.
I mean, what a, you know, that profession, they used to be lining up at the door. You know, it's crazy.
No, I know that.
So,
but I think also what's happening is a lot of retirements.
Yes,
in the teaching
and I would agree
field,
with that.
You know, so they're losing people, and for whatever reason.
Especially for you know, older people who, you know, are compromised and are a little bit more concerned with the virus going around.
Right.
You know, they might choose to retire a little earlier.
Right.
And also just, you know, the environment right now where you have a mask on. I mean, as it is, like, I don't know how you are, but when I go somewhere, like I had to take my daughter to the doctor yesterday, and I'm trying to, you know, yell her date of birth through the plexiglass and like
and the mask.
You know, like the mask. Yeah, exactly, the mask
and the
plexiglass, and so I'm like kind of, you know, trying to.
Right.
So you know, that's and then dealing with if you have kids that are quarantined and you somehow need to be teaching them at home and your live classroom. It's just a really hard time for teachers, but you know, for any profession really. But I think you are seeing a lot of retirees.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And a lot of law enforcement too. I think you're seeing retire.
Yeah, I think it's
that's
just
a little bit of a different reason.
Coming out of the pandemic, you know, people were just saying that's enough. I've had enough. We went through that. Now we go through these things that we've never heard before. And we ever talk about supply chain ever?
Yeah.
What the hell?
I know. I mean, I guess the silver lining of that, right, is
that
well, I'm going to say that, you know, hopefully these kids that are going through college and they, you know, they've kind of had this not so great experience. You know, they kind of got robbed of their college experience. So, you know, hopefully this means that there's some job.
Oh yeah, there's job.
You know,
no, there is. You're 100%
So
right.
hopefully, and especially in our area where it's difficult to get a job with benefits and things like that.
Right.
So, you know, hopefully that's the silver lining. That
I agree with that, and it kind of speaks against what I just said, which is, God forbid we can't get something, you know, and we have to sacrifice. We're so used to instantaneous gratification and pleasure. Let me go on Amazon, hire something. Yeah. It's going to be in my house tomorrow.
Right.
You know, that's instant.
It is.
You know?
And, you know, it's funny. I saw the other day And it was, that little, I think it's like John's Quick Stop. It's on the corner there by where the old Myron used to be.
Yeah.
And there was a sign, I think it was there. It said, Amazon does not sponsor your Little League team. And I was like, wow, that's really...
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
No, they only put, that's Bezos. That's Bezos, right? Men on the Moon or wherever the hell. They go for, William Shatner, 10-minute, joyride. Can jump out of an airplane, have 10 minutes of joy.
I know.
So they'll spend billions on that, but they won't, they could supply every Little League team in the country with the money they spend on one moonshot.
I know.
So, unless that was Musk. I don't know who did that one. I think it was Musk. I think it was that nut. Anyway, so it's a crazy world. Everybody's thinking, well, the pandemic's over. Everything back to normal. Yeah, not so much. Employment shortages, supply chain problems.
Yep.
More stressors for folks. And
get your Christmas shopping going now because you may not.
Absolutely. There may not be people to sell you Christmas stuff.
Yeah. Or I'm just thinking of all the shipping containers.
Right.
Somebody had something about, like I'm going to get a jet ski and, go.
Yeah.
So.
Can you imagine what the heck's on all those shipping containers? Have you seen a picture of that?
It's crazy.
It's just wild.
It's just you're seeing things you never thought you'd see.
Yeah. So.
Speaking of local businesses, not really a local business. I wasn't aware, and I don't know if you heard this. So Kingston Wire lost a lot of their funding. Did you hear about this?
Oh, no.
So Kingston Wire... who I think
they've been on this on KCR.
Yeah,
Lawrence says folks from Kingston Wire have been on KCR.
Jesse Smith.
I think so. Yeah.
Haven't been on in a while, but yes, they have been on before.
Yeah.
So
who runs Kingston Wire?
So half of their funding came from I just read the article last night. Half of their funding came from Novo.
Okay.
Why? So is Novo still? Is Novo's not kicking in anymore?
Radio Kingston. And I guess the article they wrote said Radio Kingston, Novo, that all kind of goes, I guess, hand in hand. And it was about half of their budget, and they pulled the money. Huh. And so, I think they're trying to kind of rally the community to try. I think they have like $100,000 budget, and I think
that's what their budget is for the year.
That's what their budget is for the year.
And how much did Novo and Radio? How much did they?
I think they said like They said about half of their budget, but then when I saw the numbers, I think the numbers read like $32,000.
And why did they were supporting them for years?
Well, I think they've only been in. Yeah, that's the article right there. I think
they have a GoFundMe page set up.
They have a GoFundMe page, and I will say that I do feel that the Kingston Wire has always been kind of fair and balanced, and it's a little concerning. There was some comments. I don't know if I want to say it on the air, but there's some comments in the Kingston Wire article. They were kind of saying,
I can imagine what they are.
Yeah, that they
they probably weren't too far to the left.
Yeah,
probably,
that they weren't really fitting into their agenda.
Well, they're very progressive over there.
And so that's kind of why. And then Buffett kind of commented underneath, that, and so it kind of got a little.
Well, he's a progressive person.
I don't know the real story, but I do know that it would be a loss to our community.
Yeah.
Because
I didn't read it all the time, but I did read it occasionally.
Yeah.
This is a Facebook post says, regardless of whether Novo thinks independent journalism is worth paying for, we certainly do.
Yeah.
So there was
that's what's so much of what's missing in the media these days
right.
is that independent piece of both sides, and I truly think they do a great job of showing both sides. What I like that they do is how I do it is you can just pay by article. So like I just loaded my account, through $10 on there, and then if you want to read an article, it's 25 cents. So rather than like the Daily Freeman, you have to pay $10 a month.
Don't bother reading
it. And I did that for a little while, and then I was like, I wasn't really using it, but I do like this because you can read. What's...
So when is the Wire? Is the Wire have enough money to run to the end of the year?
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, they're publishing, obviously.
You know what we should do? I'm going to reach out to Jesse Smith. Maybe we should
get him on the radio.
Show.
Yeah.
Obviously, we can't do it next Thursday because we're going to be strapped to eggnog and ice cream and fundraising.
Sure.
But maybe the following week.
Thursday, we can get him on.
Maybe we can muscle him in between. What do you call that guy from Central Hudson?
Oh, the amenable Armenian.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. We can do that. Absolutely. So they have a goal of $31,200 on their GoFundMe, and they've raised $650 so far. So
cool. So
if somebody kicks in $30,000, they'll get their goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go give them $100 right now.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh, I just got a text message from a listener with Jesse Smith's contact information.
Great.
So somebody's listening. So we
Great.
will. Ironically, there was an article, and I can't remember if it was in the New York Post, but it was about Novo and how they did this in a community down in the city. They funded all these programs, and then all of a sudden they just pulled out from everything, and it was devastating. So when I
don't want to sit here and throw a bunch of salt on wounds or whatever.
Right.
They do a lot of great things for this community.
They do a lot of great things.
But on the other flip side of that coin,
it's something to be aware of.
They do a bunch of stuff that's not so great either.
Yeah.
All right?
Correct. Fair and balanced, Lawrence. Fair and balanced.
And I think just as a community, we need to be aware, like all the money, like
especially in a small community like this,
it could be
where
devastating.
There's only 20,000 people that live in Kingston.
Can't put all of our eggs in one basket.
Right.
Like, they donate a lot of money to the Y.
No,
there's
they
all
do.
these kinds of programs,
And
and then all of a
People's
sudden,
Place
if that money goes,
right.
What do you do with these
but
children?
If you're not on their agenda, they'll pull it just like that.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of their money at the Y went for building, bricks and mortar.
But they also, yes, and they do. But they also have like a farmers program for kids.
Yeah.
Things like different programs like that.
I don't think that's going anywhere soon. But by the way, GoFundMe, 15% VIG. It's 15%.
Whoa!
Really,
what do you mean?
Yes.
So
GoFundMe. It's a GoFundMe tip. It's 15.
So if I donate $100, only
it's
85 of it goes to the Kingston Wire?
No. It's going to cost you $115. They get 100. You get charged
Okay, so
$115.
maybe-
They should have did Venmo.
Jesse, that's
They
what I was
should've
going to
done
say.
Venmo.
No,
Jesse
they got to do
should've done
Venmo because that's why we're getting away from Noble Acts.
Yeah.
Okay, actually, Noble Acts only does 5%.
15%.
Wow,
is a
GoFundMe's
big. That's a big slam.
Jesus, that's
That
like
is a big
StubHub,
slam.
man.
The GoFundMe people.
It's like calling your
GoFundMe
bookie up.
CEO. Yeah, making the $15.
But I think, if you're listening, I think, stay tuned for details on how you can support Kingston Wire. I think it's important.
Yeah, let's try to get them on in a couple weeks.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
What else? There was something else I was going to say. Oh, I want to give a shout out to Don Mapes. He had a community day I went to on Saturday at, is it Bowman Park, across from, I think that's the name of it, across from Boys and Girls Club. And it was a day to bring the community and law enforcement. And it was a great day. And I connected with someone that I want to have on. I went to high school with her. Her name is Glenda. And
Wicked Witch of the East?
No, she's the exact opposite. She's the good witch. She's the good witch.
Glenda was the good witch.
She is. And she was working in the bank, and she saw this need for children that, I guess someone came in and they said, oh, well, when I write a check, where does the money come from? And they genuinely had no idea. So she started a program where she, brings kids in and, teaches them life skills and things like that. And she's really making a difference in the community. So I thought that would be really something cool to get on.
That.
So, yeah. Not to mention she's a great person. So
yeah. So
that was a good event. What else? Happy birthday. I know we did birthdays, we're doing birthdays.
Right.
But I don't have my act together, and I never get them in.
You're about a half hour early, but good way to be on it.
But this is just my unofficial happy birthday to Danny Savona.
Oh, it's Danny's birthday
today?
Today
is Danny Savona's birthday.
Oh, sweet.
And
How old is Danny?
Danny would be 52.
We have to divulge it on the radio?
I know.
No, he's like 3 or 4 years older than me.
Yeah, he's 52, I want to say.
Oh, okay.
Well, maybe not then.
Because he was 50.
No, he's 4 years older.
Him and his wife Carrie.
No, he definitely wasn't in high school with me.
I want to say he's 52.
And Steve has got to be 55.
Perhaps, I don't know.
I mean,
it's hard to guess.
They both don't look their age, so
right.
Yeah. Or act it, right, Danny?
Right. I'll be 47 this year.
Yeah.
On November 9th.
I must
47.
have gone to high school with you.
Yeah, we did go to high school.
That's
That guy in the back of the class just pick on me.
All right, high school sweethearts. You guys want to go to break?
Yeah,
we'll
do that. Let's do that.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
Have you ever experienced a wish come true? For a child battling a critical illness, a wish come true can be a turning point. One song, one dance, one game, one adventure, one moment changes everything. Make-A-Wish needs your support to grant the wish of every eligible child. Visit wish.org now to help grant more life-changing wishes. Together, we can transform lives, one wish at a time.
Hi, I'm Steve Thomas for Habitat for Humanity Restore. Habitat Restores are nonprofit home improvement stores and donation centers that sell new and gently used furniture, building materials, and appliances to the public at a fraction of the retail cost. The Ulster County Restore at 406 Route 28 in Kingston needs your donations. Call our hotline at 845-853-7499 to schedule your free pickup. And thanks.
Everyone is talking about healthcare these days. America spends twice that of other developed countries on our healthcare system, yet our health ranks near the bottom. How can we stop spending so much and getting so little? By shifting to a system that gives more patients access to strong primary care. Primary care can help make America healthy again. To learn more about the benefits of primary care, visit www.healthisprimary.org. This message is brought to you by America's Family Physicians.
Screening exams for breast, lung, or colorectal cancers are necessary to detect and treat disease at its earliest, most curable stage. But you may have some concerns and questions. Answer your questions and ease your fears by visiting radiologyinfo.org. In addition to information on screening and wellness, you'll find more than 200 descriptions of radiologic exams, procedures, and treatments to help you prepare. Get informed and be prepared. Visit radiologyinfo.org, produced by the Radiological Society of North America and the American College of Radiology.
Hi, this is Winnie from the Rosendale Seniors, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
This portion of Kingston Community Radio has been brought to you by the First Savings Bank in Ulster County that still remains local to this day. Ulster Savings Bank, a community bank that's invested in local business, invested in community, invested in you. Ulster Savings Bank, your one-stop resource for everything local. Locations throughout the Hudson Valley and online at ulstersavings.com. Member FDIC.
All right, folks, we're back on. This is Thunder Thursday.
Thunder Thursday.
Bring the thunder, flash.
Ba, ba, ba,
See, we need the first half hour just to warm up.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm warmed up.
You're warmed up now?
I'm warmed up.
Now I'm getting hot. No.
I turned the AC off today.
No, that's good. No, that's good. Leave it off. Good.
It's good.
God,
man.
It's
like bait going back and
like
forth.
my grandmother. You need an Afghan?
We'll have frozen hosts here. All right.
It's funny because I actually, when I came, I was checking for armpit sweat.
All right. Yes, gotcha. 10-4. All right, we're joined by the Board of Election folks, Ashley Dittus and John Quigley. Welcome to both of you. I know you were just on last week, but 'tis the season.
Tis the season. It came up fast.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks.
We try and make our rounds this time of year. Lots to talk about.
Yeah, exactly. There is, and early voting started. So let's start with that, right? I guess what you call it.
Yep. Early voting started Saturday. Today we have early voting from 12 to 8. Tomorrow will be open again from 9 to 5, and on the weekend, 10 to 3, Saturday and Sunday. And that's the last day, Sunday, Halloween.
I think I'm going to
do so nothing Monday.
Nothing Monday. That lets us regroup and get ready for the big show on Tuesday.
Big shebang.
Now, we were talking about this earlier. You would know how many voted, but would you also know who they voted for?
No. Only the how many.
Only the how many. The how many is
cool.
good.
How many are we up to right now? I know the first day was
trending about 500 people a day through 5 days, 2,500.
Okay.
And actually, it's on the uptick right now.
Okay.
So almost like every day, it's getting higher and higher as we move along.
It's getting more exciting.
Yeah, the closer we get to Tuesday, the more people are like, I
want to get
to
out
go
there.
away. I got to go and do it. So they go and they vote early over the weekend or the next
Definitely
2 days.
breaking trends of like the last two elections where the weekends were like the powerhouse and everybody wanted to go on the weekends. But I think this is what's going to end up being like a normalized flow for early voting.
Interesting.
Are you finding a trend as far as, do you find that maybe it's more some of the elderly population is doing it early because they, are trying to avoid crowds, or is it younger, a mix, or?
Well, so the nice thing is about our hours. So since they differ on the weekdays, like you'll see different populations that might not have access to go at like 6 or 7 o'clock on a weeknight. Will now go on that weeknight, on that Tuesday, Thursday that we have it open till 8. And yes, you definitely see. I was looking at the hours just the other day, how it broke down, and actually, like right now, it's 11 o'clock for those early days, and then it was like 3 o'clock again. And I can't explain why, but we have the numbers that show by the hour how traffic comes in, and those seem to be the two popular hours right now.
I think it's also good too for like some of the people that work in the, let's say, like nursing or law enforcement, where they work a 12-hour shift, and election day might be really difficult for them to get in. So a lot of those professions, you have blocks of days off, so they could kind of get it in, on, let's say, Wednesday they're not working. So I think it's good for those kinds of people.
So the polling places for early voting are where?
So let's go from the north to the south. So we have one in Saugerties at the Senior Center at Cantine Field.
Okay.
Over in Olive on 28 at the American Legion. Then in Kingston at the Midtown Center on Broadway. And then going down, we have one at SUNY New Paltz in the Student Union Building, that big glass triangle. And then down in Marlborough at the Town Hall, and then over to Ellenville at the Ellenville Library.
Nice. So don't go to your normal polling place, because they probably don't have your donuts there yet.
Yeah.
They're just still,
only 6
your
places.
apple cider donuts are not yet there.
Yeah.
So on election day, yes, go to where your normal polling place is, because those places will not be open, correct? On November 2nd.
Well, some of them are regular polling sites.
Wait,
but
open? What's not open?
No. Like the early voting, like SUNY New Paltz probably wouldn't have voting there.
Early voting sites?
They do for the students on
they do
election
for the
day.
students.
Yeah, that's their poll site.
Oh, okay.
But for early voting, any of our voters could go to any of the 6 sites.
Oh, you can go to any. So I'm a City of Kingston resident. I don't have to go to the Midtown Center.
You work on Saugerties, you can go anywhere.
Huh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Where do you normally vote?
I normally vote at George Washington School.
Okay. So if you're going to vote on election day, that's where you're going to go.
I know, and I'm kind of having this internal conflict because I'm such a
good versus evil, or
no.
Okay.
I'm a traditionalist, so I want to go on election day. But then there's this part of me that's like, well, maybe maybe I'll just do
Dennis?
it. So
would you go together and just?
No, we never go together. No, he always goes on his way to work, and I go on my way to work, and so yeah. It's not like a date or anything. Although that's a good idea.
Voting date night.
Yeah.
Whoopee! Okay, let's get 2 donuts.
Yeah.
All right, so that's good. But just getting back to, you would know out of, let's say, 2,500 or whatever you said, John, voted, would you know Republican versus Democrat on that?
Just based off of what party they're enrolled in.
Yeah, if they're enrolled in a party, you would know that X number of Democrats voted, Y number of Republicans, and the not enrolls.
And are you finding, have you looked at those trends at all? Are you finding, like we talked about, kind of demographics of age-wise, but are you seeing a trend as far as what party is voting early?
Yeah, over the last couple of years that we've had it since 2019, more Democrat voters vote early, and then a lot of Republicans wait for the day of. But I'm always telling John, it doesn't matter which day you vote; it's all the same. Get your people going.
Yeah.
I set up all the early voting sites, and yet I haven't voted early.
And I voted the first day. So
you did, yeah.
It tells you that the natural divide.
And I have in the past, but more because it was out of like incident response. I'd be trying to troubleshoot a problem at a poll site, and there'd be nobody to check in. I'd be like, all right, I might as well check in and try and solve the problem and just vote.
Yeah.
So, but more than just like the trends of who votes more often at early voting, I try and look at like the percentage of that party that turns out to vote early to see if it's a rising trend or not. And like you definitely do see that it is a rising trend on both sides of the aisle. But right now, like we're in a local year, and I mean I think we're at election fatigue, so we're not seeing as big of a turnout as we usually would.
Yeah, there's also not a lot of competition either. A lot of the contests are unopposed.
Yeah.
Like all the county-wide races. no one is
not in my district for legislators. It's a three-way race.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's a big one.
Three-way and four-way for the alderman in Ward 3.
Yes, that's my ward
that's
too.
Honestly, might be
What's going on in your ward?
I
a lot of rabble-rousers.
It has something to do with me.
Yeah, it does. No, I mean, by the way, that's a great thing because people decided to get involved in the process. We were talking about it earlier.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of courage and to get out there and put yourself out there
and everything else.
So kudos to them as opposed to
absolutely.
no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
It's for crazy people that want to have a spotlight shown on them.
Yeah.
And that's something we've even gone and said for actually the candidates. Just to have the candidates we do right now, we're fortunate enough that people are stepping up.
Yeah.
Because you still are seeing a lot of vacancies and people who don't want to run or oppose somebody in our political environment right now. Like all of our ballots, it's either a legislator or a councilman that's opposed, and maybe sometimes a supervisor. But other than those three positions, nearly every other position is going like unopposed or uncontested right now.
Well, who's going to run against Nina Pushapak? I mean, nobody.
Nobody. She's the best.
Al Spada.
I actually
that would be a good race.
I was actually at a wedding with her a few weeks ago, and I was at a wedding with Nina a couple weeks ago, and I told her that everybody always has this. And I don't mean Ulster County, but like I work with a few people that live in Dutchess County, and they're always like, "Oh, I have to go to DMV," and I'm like, "Our DMV is
awesome.
It is so well run," and they think I'm joking. I'm like, "No,
and they're nice people.
They're so nice. It's so efficient. It's really, it's always a good experience."
Usually, you go there to other counties. It's like the kiss of death.
Yeah,
you go there and
it's
say,
like a black hole. You're in there.
Oh my God, I'm waiting forever. And when I get up there, the person has like this scowl
on their face.
Like what do you want? Hurry up.
Here's your plates.
Yeah, see you later. That's not true in Ulster County.
So what do you guys anticipate, or do you know how many voters do you think we're going to get this season? Wow. I mean, based on what's come out.
It look like Nostradamus.
I don't know. They should know if anybody.
Well, so we got to order the ballots.
Oh yeah, right.
There's a plan.
How many hot dogs do they order at Dallas?
Yeah,
exactly. My guess is about 35% of people will vote. Again, there is...
This is SAD. Sad.
It is sad. The voter fatigue, the lack of competition, and just a lot of people don't even realize that there are elections this year. It's not on TV. The candidates don't have millions of dollars.
Right. It's not like there's not like a state race or... Yeah. So, okay.
I would say roughly 35 as well. Like you see, we way we do it.
35% of registered voters.
And how many registered voters are there in the county?
136,000 registered voters.
And 35% vote.
Wow.
Man, that is...
40,000.
That is...
Last year with the presidential, we had 80% of the people that voted.
Yeah, well, that
was the highest we've ever seen.
Yeah, that was a crazy time.
From one year to the next.
So voter fatigue, you think that's just because of like COVID fatigue and supply chain fatigue and employee shortage fatigue?
It's the snowball.
It all bundles together.
Yeah. People are just saying, I'm not going in.
It's like they're giving up.
Yeah, that's very bad. Apathy, man. That's just forget it. Note to self: see the Roman Empire.
But it's two-part because apathy. It's also there's a lot more effort put into our even year elections, and if that same amount of effort was put into our local elections, which I think Ashley and I would both agree matter a lot more.
Yes, they do.
We were talking about that earlier.
Do.
I mean that's where the rubber meets the road there, as far as I'm concerned.
These are the pothole elections.
Yeah, right. That's a good one.
Everyone complains about that, but they don't want to go and vote for the highway superintendent who's going to fix the pothole.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. They don't even know who that person is half the time.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's very true.
And then this year specifically, even if you're not going to show up to vote for a candidate, you got to turn over that ballot. I know we're going to talk about propositions.
Talk about them. It's like it's dizzying.
Yes.
Who invented this idea? Let's put. How many propositions usually? Like one or two, maybe.
Yeah.
Every couple of years, the state will do.
It's like somebody said, "Hey George, we got to do some propositions this year."
Let's do it.
Okay, Harry, what do you think we should do? Well, I don't know. Let's think about redistricting.
Apparently, they've got a lot going on.
There's got to be a better answer than I just gave.
So the reason why it happens is because our state, if you're going to change the New York State Constitution, you can do it in two ways. Every 20 years, we are asked to vote if we want to do a constitutional convention. The last time they asked us, it was a couple years ago, the voters said no. They've been saying no every 20 years consistently since, I think the last one they had was, oh God.
It was long.
Before, like in the 40s.
Okay, that was before my time. Thank God. I
So
thought she was going to say
been
like
a while.
maybe 50s or 60s.
I could be wrong, but
No.
it's
It definitely dates back that far.
Yeah, it's over 50 years. So if they were to do that, a lot of this would just happen in that convention setting. But because it doesn't, the way that you get those on the ballot is the state legislature will pass a bill, then they all have to get reelected, go back, pass it again, and then it goes to the ballot for us to vote on.
Yeah.
So it's
By
a
the way,
longer process.
I'm in
but
favor
that's how it
of
goes.
having the people vote on important things, not the elected officials.
So
I'm
that's
in
what
favor
I wanted
of that.
I wanted to ask that. So because I want to clarify what you're saying. So if we voted yes about the Constitution, about then the politicians would be responsible for the changes to the Constitution.
No, there would actually be delegates to the convention. So local people would
So you
run
get-
to be delegates, and then they would get a staff that's equivalent to like a state senate staff. So like Michelle Hinchy has her staff,
But
a
it could
delegate
become very
would have a
political
staff.
at that point. It wouldn't be like an open vote. I mean, it could.
It wouldn't be. It would still be political and
becomes like
complicated.
it would definitely be political and complicated, but it's independently removed from our state Senate and Assembly system. And 1967.
1967.
Okay.
Good. All right. All right.
There we
Good.
go. Thank God for Google.
Quick Google.
So let's talk. And again, we said obviously we're not necessarily looking for
You're not
yay
gonna
or
give you
nay, right? But I would like to ask because I often find I kind of get a bit frustrated when I go in to vote. And I
Because you don't
turn
have
it
your
over,
glasses with
and
you?
no, I don't wear glasses. I'm too young for that. But
Wait.
but she needs them.
But actually, Dennis texted me yesterday and said I made an eye doctor appointment. So apparently, it's
Oh,
coming.
that's the beginning of the end.
So,
Go ahead.
So, but I turn it over and I think, well, this is kind of the first time, and shame on me, I'm
Right.
seeing this. And so, I
think
guess before we kind of get into them, because I know you're not going to give us a yay or nay, or
We can give you a
first-
brief rundown of
give us
them.
a
Yeah,
brief
yeah, let's-
rundown. But is there a place where maybe you could get like a
Yep.
short video, kind of pros and cons, and
video?
the nitty gritty?
I wish there was a video. I wish we were that proactive on creating that kind
My
of
eyes
content.
Yeah. No, I know.
But so we actually have this. I mean, this is going to play out a lot on election day. Where people are going to show up, they're not going to know what's on the back of the ballot until
Yep.
all of a sudden they get there and like, oh, well, I got to go home and read more about these propositions. Sorry, but you can't leave the poll site.
Right.
Right.
And that's
Yeah.
the problem.
And so what we've done this year is not only do we have to keep like a physical hard copy at every poll site by state mandate, we have gone the extra effort and we've put, because we've all gotten used to the COVID pandemic and using QR codes, we put QR codes in every
Great.
voting booth.
Oh, that's
so
great.
that you can pull up the
Oh, nice.
propositions on your phone while sitting right in the poll site. And even if it takes you a little bit longer to fill out the ballot, we're not rushing you to complete it. You want to make sure that you learn, and if you have
That's why there's
have to
donuts there.
So
sit
this
there a moment and read
QR
it.
code, is that something that Ulster County did, or that's something
Something we did.
That's
yeah.
We came
kudos
up
to
with
you
that.
guys.
Very good.
Yeah.
Kudos to you guys. I think that's great.
It links right to that page
That's
that you have
awesome.
the printout
Good
of.
job. Good job.
Good.
Go ahead.
And then
Sorry.
you'll be able to just
That's
read
great.
about the whole documents that are available for each proposition. And they're very lengthy, so yeah, if you can get a chance, go on our website, voteulster.com ahead of time. You can read up on all of them.
I mean, this is the abridged version,
Yep.
that's here. There's a couple paragraphs. I mean, this is easy to read. I'm sure the rest, the original language is probably a lot
It's all that legislative legal language.
mumbo jumbo.
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
Here
Okay,
twos
so
and four
Why
withs.
don't you, because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we're getting to the habit. Why don't you guys take us through, here, do
Yeah,
you already
so-
know?
They know.
Look at it, but
Yeah, so
we
the,
pretty
so
much
so
have it
so the
committed to
first one
memory.
is amending the apportionment and redistricting process.
Tell us about that.
Currently, we have an independent redistricting process that's playing out. That's going to be drawing our congressional, our assembly, and our state senate lines. This is just amending the proposal to allow for those in the Senate to have a yay or nay over the proposal and have a bit of the ability. It's like a last fail-safe in case the committee doesn't come to a complete agreement on both tries. That then the state Senate would be able to modify the districts up to 2%. So they'll still have to work within the margins of what the redistricting committee puts forward, but they'll have a limit on how they can change those districts.
Yeah, right now, they both come up with maps, and if they don't agree, the legislature just does it for them. So this would change it a bit.
What's the whole point of redistricting? I mean,
It balances the population of the districts, so that one population has a larger body and less influence in the government.
Okay, all right.
Every 10 years after the census, they go and do that.
I would have failed that question, by the way.
I would have failed that question too.
Yeah,
Okay.
but so it says, I'm just saying, the proposed constitutional amendment would freeze the number of state senators at 63.
Which is
I
what
think
it is now.
Makes a little bit of sense, quite honestly, not to give yay or nays, but we don't want to be adding more senators, do we? With more staff and more expense and more cost. But that's
Health insurance costs the way they are.
I mean, just saying, amend the process for counting the state's population. I don't know, it was like count every other one instead of every one. Delete certain provisions that violate the U.S. Constitution. Why would anything be in there that violates the U.S. Constitution? I don't know. That's kind of weird. All right, so read this one because it's important, So this, they're all, but this is really important. Right to clean air, clean water, and a healthful environment. Come on.
That sounds like a no-brainer.
What? Go ahead.
Yeah, this one is, it sounds fluffy.
It is fluffy.
It is, but from a legal standpoint, it would allow for a lot of environmental advocacy groups, like NRDC. They're a big environmental advocacy group, and they will file lawsuits when a big company is polluting.
Okay, got it.
We've been dealing with the PCBs in the river for years.
Got it.
They would be able to, because this is a right to all New Yorkers, enact more penalties.
Okay, so it would seem kind of obvious that we should have a right to clean air, right? Shouldn't it be? I mean, and clean water.
These taglines are meant to get your attention.
This is more like a right, like a responsibility, like being able to sue.
Yeah, they'd be able to sue, and also citizens would be able to join in on those things because now it's our right to have those three items.
By the way, so if you go on the Board of Elections website,
voteulster.com.
There you go, voteulster.com, and you can find, these are on there because I found them, and well, of course, if I find them, anybody can find them. And then if you want to see the full doodad, right, you click and you can read the whole thing. These are just little
like Cliff Notes.
Cliff Notes, right, exactly.
Yeah, this is exactly what you'll see on the ballot.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, good, okay.
All right, so Proposal 3 is eliminating the 10-day advance for voter registration requirement.
So just a quick rundown, our state has a law that currently prevents us from being able to register voters after a certain date every year.
Right.
This is simply removing that right now, and with the snowball in anticipation that in future legislative sessions, they may pass what would eventually become something similar to same-day voter registration.
Same day vote. That sounds scary, but I don't know. I don't know.
It's a behemoth. It's something so large that we're even watching very closely to figure out how we're going to implement.
Yeah, these next two are in our ball field. So this would be things that then John and I, would go and implement, which would then require, we still want to make sure that no one is double voting, and no one's registered in two places.
It's a little rushed.
So we would be doing that all at the poll site, and probably those voters would have to vote in a different way.
Right.
Than all the voters
so
that are in the poll
book. So if it was me,
book.
if I was running for some office, I'd get a big party bus,
Yeah,
and I would say, "Are you registered to vote?" No, come on the party bus.
Yeah,
I have Italian subs.
You're opening a can of worms over there, Tony.
We're going to get you donuts at the site.
We're going to get you donuts. We're going to get you registered. And you are going to vote for moi.
So, and just to be clear, we haven't gotten to that same-day voter registration. This is just to start that discussion because there is that roadblock.
All right. So please look at this one.
Get your shit together. Can I say that? Oh,
no, you're not supposed to say that.
Say that.
It's okay. For 2 months straight, Tony was saying the S word like crazy.
Okay, that's
we had to send him to curse word rehab. And now he's good.
Right. So NPR,
clean,
FDC, what are those things?
Clean speech.
They don't really look at these not-for-profit stations much, so anyway.
They're gonna get mad at Pamela, not at us.
Yeah, exactly. Don Verity will be in big trouble. Yeah.
Huge trouble.
Huge trouble.
Way to continue to bring more attention to the situation.
And now,
all right, let's move on to 4. Authorizing no excuse absentee ballot voting. No excuse. There's no excuse.
So right now you have to give a reason. There are 6 prescribed reasons. People check a box.
Right.
Like I'm away. I am permanently ill. I'm temporarily ill. Last year with COVID, military voters, overseas voters.
Hold the groin muscle.
You got to press the button, check the box, and then you get your ballot.
We're running out of time here.
You got a curse word specialist on the phone.
I was going to say NPR.
Caller, you're on Thunder Thursday. What's your question or comment?
Hey, good morning. My comment is for our voter reps there.
Yeah.
You may want to rethink the Newport Student Union building for next year and stuff for the early voting, because it is not that accessible for seniors and stuff, because where the elevator is and where the polling room is quite a long walk for them, and also there's very limited parking in the front of the building, and they have to walk up either long ramps or the steps and stuff. And Monday, one of our people that was working the polls was coming down the steps, and he's mid-60s, and one of the students that was walking up the steps with the phone in their hand, not even paying attention, and brushed against him. And if he was a 75-year-old senior, they would have knocked him right down the steps.
We appreciate that call and that input. I will say we take into consideration every election, like where we put our early voting sites, and we'll be gathering a lot of feedback because this is our first time on the campus, and we know you're gonna have some kinks to work out. So this is stuff we'll consider.
Right. Yeah, and some people that are healthy already been complaining about the parking and finding the place and everything else. Because I worked the polls Sunday and Monday, and I'll be back there today through the rest of the weekend. So I just
George.
thought I'd pass that on.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks, George.
Thank you, George.
All right, man, we got to move on. We got a couple of minutes. Thank you for calling, my friend.
Yep.
All the best. All right, so Proposal 5, increasing the jurisdiction of the New York City Civil Court. What does that have to do with us?
Yeah.
It's a constitutional change, so we have to all consider and vote no or yes on that one.
All right.
Or you can leave it blank.
Yeah, I'm going to ask about blanks in a minute.
Option two.
Proposal 6, utilization of funds designated for payroll expenses within the county budget.
So
I know Nina was talking about
So
this.
we just passed beyond what were the 5 state proposals. Now we have one county, and actually once we beyond this one county, depending on what town you're in, there's plenty to look through for certain towns.
Marlboro, town of New Paltz, Village of New Paltz.
This county one
Shandaken,
is
Ulster, Woodstock.
actually pretty straightforward. It just has to do with budget practices. If you happen to budget for a payroll position and you don't fill that payroll position, you can't use that funds elsewhere in the general fund in your office.
Yeah, see,
Got it.
I like that one.
I do too.
You're a manager, I'm a manager. We should be able to, do the best for the taxpayers. That's my 2 cents on that one. But this is great. I mean, I thank you. What I'm curious if you know the percentage of people that don't flip the ballot over. Is it?
I wonder if we actually could do that.
I mean, I'm sure you'll be able to find out at some
We'll
point.
see all of the blanks. So when it's all said and done, we'll have our certification. We'll see how many people just left the whole thing blank or just left a
So let's say
smattering of the blank.
50,000 people vote this year. I'll make up a number, I don't know, 50, 60,000, whatever the number is going to be. Out of those numbers, you can probably figure out how many flip the ballot over and
Using the blank vote,
Yeah, figuring out the
right.
blank.
I mean, because I'm curious. So, and if you're in, we said towns of Marlboro, New Paltz, Village of New Paltz, Town of Olive, Shandaken, Town of Ulster, you have other, and Town of Woodstock, you have other stuff to look at. So,
local
bring a little
towns.
glass of Chardonnay in there, just a little crackers, cheese, and just hang out.
Have a
and
date.
Have a date
Have a date.
with the ballot. So, listen, thank you to both of you for your hard work.
Thanks for coming on.
We appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for all your, I love that QR code. Good job on that.
Yeah, great job on that. And thank you for, I'll say modernizing our Board of Elections, really. I mean, you're two young folks, and it's great to see that. Not to, certainly say anything about Tom Turco. All those folks were great. But you bring a new set of eyes to what's going on, and we appreciate that.
We have a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah.
All of the new iPads, all of the changes that have been happening, and we appreciate voters' patience with us trying to figure out how to navigate it and make it as best for them as we possibly can. That's what we're always focused on, is the voter experience.
Ashley Dittus, John Quigley, thank you for what you're doing, and
you
get
for
out
having
and
us.
vote, folks. Don't sit on the
Let's
couch.
get that higher than 35%.
Shut the Netflix off.
You'll get a
The
sticker
bonbons
this year.
back in the
The
freezer.
bonbons,
They'll be there
stop.
November 3rd.
Get your steps in. Go to the polling place.
Yes.
And exercise your constitutional right to vote, because if you don't vote, you can't bitch, okay?
Yeah. Oh, number 2. See,
This is the morning of the. No, I think the B word is okay. Well, they say it on TV.
Well,
no, they say it on
I didn't
TV.
use it like you are a. I was more like you can't complain. How about that?
No, I mean I'm just going by what they do on TV.
Are we still on the air?
Yes.
Yeah, we're on the air. If the lights on, we're on the air. Yeah, no, I think that.
I thought this was an off-the-air conversation.
All right, we're gonna go to break.
We're gonna.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
There was this one time I went snorkeling in the Caribbean when I was a kid. It really just blew my mind. We saw the most beautiful corals. I remember thinking they were waving at us as they moved with the ocean. And then there were all these amazing fish. I'll never forget it. It completely changed the way I look at the ocean.
Most of us have a memory of being in nature we'll never forget. Let's protect the world's natural places so more memories can be made for generations to come. Visit worldwildlife.org.
We are Lions. We bring hope where it's needed. We are a global force for good. Support causes that matter. Change lives. Change communities. Change the world. We can do more together than we can alone. Join in. Experience the joy of serving. Be part of the movement. Give back. Let's unite the world for good. We are Lions. You can be too. Visit weserve.org.
Have you ever experienced a wish come true? For a child battling a critical illness, a wish come true can be a turning point. One song, one dance, one game, one adventure, one moment changes everything. Make-A-Wish needs your support to grant the wish of every eligible child. Visit wish.org now to help grant more life-changing wishes. Together, we can transform lives, one wish at a time.
This is the story of Daniel, who was born 2 months early. His lungs weren't ready. His heart wasn't ready. His parents could only hope that one day he would leave the hospital healthy, and they would all live happily ever after. Daniel's is just one of the more than 500,000 stories of babies born prematurely last year. You can help the March of Dimes stop premature birth and bring more babies home healthy. Learn how at marchofdimes.com. Working together for stronger, healthier babies.
Hi, my name is Jackie Levezzo. I'm from Lake Katrine, and I support Kingston Community Radio because it is an invaluable resource to the community and its residents.
A powerful community bank is one that has leaders that are involved in their community. At Rondout Savings Bank, they invest in the success of our community by working side by side with local people and local businesses. When you choose to bank Rondout, you are part of a bank that is dedicated to the future of your success and the success of your community. Rondout Savings welcomes you to open an account today and discover what it means to be part of a powerful community bank, one that knows you by name. Rondout Savings Bank, always working for you and our community, with branches in Kingston, West Hurley, and Hyde Park, also online at rondoutbank.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Okay, we're back.
We are back.
Curse.
Back for a
I'm
clean
kidding.
half
Well,
hour.
actually, I'm not kidding.
All right, this is the Mary Poppins half
Yes.
hour. This is Thunder Thursday.
YouTube's not on.
Yeah. YouTube is.
We gotta make sure we're clean. Okay.
All right, so we're going to welcome our guest real quick, Tim Weidemann, Director of Economic Development, Ulster County. But first, we're going to do some birthdays. So you can do one, you can do one, and I'll do the wiener.
Okay, you do the wiener.
I'll do the wiener.
Go ahead, Tim.
Okay, well, I guess today, October 28th, Thursday, is the birthday of Janet Mann. Please wish Janet a happy birthday. From the friends at the Girls' Night Out Book Club.
What?
That sounds like a fun book club.
A couple weeks ago. I want to be a part of that book
Girls'
club.
Night Out.
Wow. I wonder where they go.
I wonder what
I
they.
don't know,
I
but
wonder
I
where
wonder
they
where
go.
they
Follow them? I
Sounds
want to
like-
follow them around and see where they're going.
Yeah, see what they're doing.
What are they doing?
I don't know.
They read together?
Sounds fun.
Do they
They
talk?
pearl.
Or what do they
Probably
do?
little
They
reading.
probably follow the hurly-pearlers around.
They probably do. Good point. Good point, Lawrence. What do you have there?
We have another birthday here. Please wish a happy birthday to Liz Halsar. I hope I'm saying that correctly.
Your guess is as good as mine.
What's that?
Your
I'd
guess
say it a
is as
little
good as
differently.
mine.
I'd say it slightly differently.
Holser?
I'd say
Holser?
Holser.
Liz, happy birthday, Liz.
Yeah, let's just go with Liz.
Happy birthday. From your friends and family, Aunt Eleanor. And what's so interesting about this birthday is this is my grandmother's handwriting, who happens to be Eleanor.
Oh, that's
And you said it was Eleanor Errol
Oh,
who sent.
she's a listener. Yes.
Yes, she is. So,
That's
so
your
hi, Grandma.
Big time supporter.
Wow.
That's my grandma.
I'm
That's her
impressed.
handwriting. I don't know, Liz.
What really
but happy
nice
birthday.
handwriting. Is she a
Happy birthday,
teacher?
Eleanor's
Your
friend.
grandmother a teacher?
I
mean, look at that handwriting. It's
No.
it's
Isn't it
beautiful.
nice?
It's impeccable.
It is impeccable.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It
All
is.
right.
It is.
So the
I wish
winner
I had
of the
handwriting like that.
delicious cow pie, we were talking about moon pies or whatever the heck they were, ice cream sandwiches earlier at Boyce's. At 62 on the L Street, where we will be next week, asking you to support the Happy Christmas Fund and KCR. The winner is, that's for today, October 28th,
Yes.
is Liz Holser. Liz, if we said your name wrong, please forgive us, but call us and let us know how to say it. But please pick up your cow pie. Tell them you're winner of the KCR birthday winner of today, October 28th. Happy birthday.
Happy
All right.
birthday. And happy birthday to Danny Savona one more time.
Oh,
it's Danny's
Well,
birthday?
yes, it
Oh,
is.
happy birthday,
And,
Danny.
one day I will get my act together and I will send.
Yeah,
I
you
will,
know a lot of people, Val. You should
I
start
will get
submitting
my.
some birthdays.
I will get my act together.
Okay.
I'm not going
Submit
to
birthdays,
curse.
stop
I'm going to
cursing.
say. I'm going
Keeping
to
it
use the
clean.
word act together, and I will send
Right.
in my birthdays.
Yeah, that's
So.
That's not
All
a
right.
four-letter word, though. So, welcome, Tim.
Thanks. Great to be with you guys again.
Yes, great to be with you again. And, it's a crazy time and world.
Yeah,
And,
it's a
and
crazy
please
world.
tell us we have a really good economic development
Hey,
thought plan.
I think we're making progress.
Good.
I was just looking this morning at our unemployment rates, which is, maybe
Right.
not the best indicator, but it's an indicator,
indicator.
of what's going on out
Right.
there. And unemployment is back down below 5%.
Yeah, 4.2, I think.
4.2, exactly. So signs that things are going better. I think
Yep.
we've been hearing from employers that they're still struggling to find workers. That's something we've talked about before. It hasn't gone away. I think there's a lot to read into that. I was reading a really interesting article a couple weeks ago that was talking about how we just all have kind of given up in some ways on work. A lot of
Yeah.
people have, and they're struggling.
permanently.
Yeah, hopefully not permanently. I think it's really, the struggle, especially when schools were closed, of getting care for kids. The struggle.
I think
of,
it's huge.
Yeah, being worried about exposure when we were kind of in the heat of the second and third waves, but things seem to be, knock on wood, calming back down. I'll just remind folks that the COVID thing is still there. We're doing booster shots. We actually have been getting great traction on some of the booster shots. So yeah, we're headed into the fall and winter, and I think people have to keep that on their mind. But hopefully, we're back to being able to do things relatively normally this winter if we do it safely and carefully. So
Yeah, no, I think you're right about that. We were at a job fair yesterday down in the Civic Center in Poughkeepsie, and it was, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'll call it about a 3, 3 or 4. I thought it was going to be a 1.
Yeah.
So
better than expectations.
But in years
yeah.
past, we would get maybe 100 resumes at this Hudson Valley job fair, Hudson Valley Help Wanted job fair. We probably got about 35 yesterday, and some interest and some good candidates and not a lot of healthcare workers, but there's about 30, there were 36 employers there. Usually there's probably almost double that.
That's interesting because
60.
a lot of people are looking for
Yeah.
help. So I'm surprised that number was
but
lower.
so the day before there was a job fair there as well from the Dutchess County Chamber, and we didn't go there for some reason, but one of the other folks that did go said it was really well attended. So I think people are starting
to resurface. I mean, I think I gotta say that, I think we've been having this conversation. So, do we know people who aren't working? I guess the thing that's weird here is that there's a part of this that is people who have chosen to kind of exit the labor force, at least temporarily, hopefully temporarily. But I think that the thing that we probably, are biased by the experience that we've had in the last year and a half, the rough experience of the pandemic. But this was really a challenge, as you can attest, Tony, before the pandemic too. And we've been having the conversation a lot internally about the way in which housing and the housing challenge that our community faces is it is a big part of what's going on here.
Attracting, or even retaining.
Attracting and retaining, especially in that 18 to 34-year-old cohort, which we've always struggled to retain here because obviously a lot of kids, when they graduate high school, they want to go off to college, so they leave. They go to the big city. They do all the things that people want to do at that age. But we have struggled to retain those that want to stay, and we've struggled to attract back those that want to kind of that we need, honestly, for our workforce. Having that 18 to 34-year-old cohort is how you get your entry-level workers. It's how you get the people that are going to start down a career path. So without the housing that allows those residents to live here, to stay here, we're just going to continue to struggle. So, I think there's it's a tough one, though. Housing is a tough topic. It's one that we can't fix quickly, but it's a part of it.
Right, exactly. A couple of the anecdotes that I hear is this is a fellow who was working in the restaurant world, not uncommon, chef, cook, whatever, decided to walk away. It's hard work, pays not great, is what it is. He's now a day trader.
Really?
I swear, cryptocurrency. So maybe a smart guy, I'm sure. So he's doing day trading and Dogecoin, whatever the commodity is, and selling digital art, whatever the hell that is.
I'm
not sure what digital.
Oh man, we're headed down into what's there's these tokens that are unique that are this is out of my realm.
And so another one is working for cash. There's another story. Good job, left. Doing working on cars. He's mechanically sound, and so getting cash for that.
Yeah.
So they're figuring out ways, but I think over time,
right?
If and I'm saying into 22 first quarter, this is just my prediction. I think we're going to see this into the first part of 22. Hopefully, it'll settle in mid 22. But because people are going to, and anyone who saved money is using
up that savings.
So
and costs are increasing. Everything's getting more expensive, so that savings only lasts so long.
So it's very I think we have some great plans despite that. In terms of trying to attract and draw. But the common denominator is going to be workforce.
Yeah, well, I feel like sometimes it sounds a little dramatic, but I think the truth of the matter is that, regions across the country are, they're all in some sense competing when it comes to economic development. Maybe I like to think that there's a lot of cooperation too, but certainly there's a competition factor. And it's really increasingly about people. It's about having the people that can supply the labor, and labor is almost the wrong word. It's the kind of, and maybe there's no great word for this. Talent is another word. I grew up in my work world. I was working in a division of Deloitte Consulting that was called Human Capital, and that's really the maybe it's too technical, but that's the idea is that for businesses you have financial capital, you have money, you have equipment and machinery, bricks and mortar, you have technology, but the other thing you have is people. And without people, these businesses, many of them, can't survive, and regions also can't survive without the right labor force to be able to meet the need. And so I think, the Hudson Valley has all these things going for it. We have a beautiful region, we have the access to New York City, but we still struggle to compete when it comes to talent and people because of the cost. And I think that trying to figure out how to crack that nut is not easy. It's not quick, but it's something that I think we have to be focused on.
It's a national issue, though, right?
It is.
This is not. I think I read there was like 10 million open jobs in the country. 10 million.
Yep.
And I also think, and I know I've said this before, but I think it's worth repeating. I think the other issue, and maybe a little bit more specific to our community, is that we have this influx of people from the city that may be working remotely at a job that was in the city. So now you don't have housing for people that are going to work locally.
Yeah, well, that's
so
the thing
that's
is every resident that comes with a job that even, whether they commute down to the city for it, which some people are still doing even in this crazy time, or you telecommute to it, that's a job that is filled by a person who's living here, taking up housing here, but the job isn't here, and they're not part of the workforce, the labor force for the employers here. And that's not to judge it. I mean, I think lots of people have been in that place at some point or another where their work drew them out of where they live. I was in that place at one point. But it's a part of this challenge.
And it is a good part too, because, historically our community has always been, you look at what our number one employers were, right? And it was,
IBM.
Well, I'm talking after
more recently,
IBM. More recently, it's really all not-for-profits, like the government,
schools,
school
hospitals,
districts,
large not-for-profits.
Ulster Green ARC, hospital. And so this is really a great opportunity where we've never had before to be able to pull in spending power from, let's say, Manhattan, and put it into our economy and to, into our stores, into our restaurants. And so that's great, but then the other side of it is how do we fix that other problem that it creates?
Totally. And I think, that is a perfect painting of the picture of kind of how it works here. I mean, this is something that I feel like I grew up in Western New York where we didn't have that. And it was, there was no big city. It was Elmira, New York was the big city. So there wasn't that kind of, that outflow from a big city of wealth and people that we have here. And I think a lot of people, rightfully so, bemoan the impact of that, the traffic, the increased housing costs, the out-of-towners that are here amongst us. But I think, as you painted that picture, Val, that I think the final kind of conclusion to it is those are people that have chosen to be here. They're people with skills and abilities and with, connections and with maybe their own businesses. And for a long time, part of our strategy has been to say, well, once you're up here, don't you want to stay here all week long? Don't you want to move your business here too? And, I think that's been a strategy that's worked to some extent, but I think we have to recognize that, that wherever it is, that talent that is choosing to be here, as well as the talent that grows up here and that, deserves to continue to stay here if they want to, we need to make sure that we have the housing to be able to house them. We just, in the last couple months, released a housing action plan that really talks to all this, and it paints a pretty dire picture of the need at the kind of town level across the 23 municipalities in the county, and really, I think, starts to lay out the case that we need to think differently about housing. We need to figure out how we build more, because if we don't have it, we don't have the workforce. We can't continue to attract people from New York City, which is one strategy, but we also can't continue to house our, kids that grow up and, maybe go away to college and want to come back. We don't have the place for them to live that they can afford. So
the issue there is even if we start today, it's probably a couple of years out.
Yeah, well, we know this, especially because I think, we just kind of put this whole thing against the challenges of building housing in our communities, which are, I think all of us probably fall into the not in my backyard category when it comes to certain projects in our own backyards. It's hard to justify putting up a new building or adding new people to your community. But I think we all have to recognize that if we don't do that, we're stagnant. We're not growing. We're not giving the fuel that our businesses need in order to continue to grow.
Talk to us about the update on Tech City.
Oh, jeez. Exactly where I was
Stole the words right out of your mouth. So I think last I was here, I don't know if we got the chance to talk about some of the changes that are going on there. So, developments occurring at the former IBM campus on the far eastern side, which is along the railroad tracks, like behind the old Barnes & Noble space. There was a buyer that came along and bought some of those properties from the former owner, Allen Ginsberg. So this was maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago. That to me is a signal that what we're doing on the campus is working. We're applying pressure to a guy that wasn't able to get anything done for 25 years.
Right.
And sometimes it's uncontrolled what happens, and that was maybe an example. I don't think we anticipated that sale, but ultimately it's changing the dynamic there. And so we're continuing to apply the pressure to Allen. We're in the process of foreclosure on all of those properties on the East Campus. So I think Allen knows that his time is limited and he's got to get his act together and make something happen, either himself or by selling the properties to somebody who can get something done there. On the west side of the campus, we have recently we issued another what's called a request for expressions of interest. We love to use long technical names for all the things that we do. But we got a couple of submissions from developers in the region that'll be vetted as partners for us to redevelop that west side that the county currently owns. And so we're going through that process right now. And it gives us some confidence that in the next 6 to 12 months, we will have a partner that can help us fund the work that we need to do and that has the expertise to get that site up and running. So progress on all fronts. Sometimes it doesn't look like much is happening, but behind the scenes, there's a lot of stuff happening. And I think we're going to see the signs of that visibly in the next several months. So,
how about the Ellenville area? What's,
Yeah, I was going to bring that up in the workforce stuff too, because, Ellenville has been a community struggling in some of the same ways as Kingston, although maybe even more acutely when manufacturing businesses like Schrade and Channel Master and Hydro left in the late 90s. So there's the former Schrade site, which is north of south of the village, on 209 towards
South,
Kingston.
yeah, I think it's south.
My directions get mixed up sometimes, but that is currently under consideration as a large-scale cannabis production facility. So we've been working with a multi-state operator that's looking at that site as one of their new sites to supply cannabis for the new adult use market that's emerging as the regulations all get set. And so that's exciting. That's potentially $50 to $100 million investment in that property that's been sitting empty for a couple decades, 300 to 400 jobs to be added, which has prompted a whole other conversation in Ellenville from a lot of businesses like Optimum Window and some of the restaurants there and some of the hospitality businesses there that are in this boat of having a hard time filling their open positions. And then as excited as they are about adding another major employer, they're thinking, wait a minute,
you're going to
I can't fill positions.
Provide benefits and vacation and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, so, I think that's just an example of how complicated all this can get when you start trying to bring in new businesses and grow that local employment base. But we're working with them, and I think that it's brought us all to the table to figure out solutions to some of the challenges that they've had. Optimum Windows, for instance, people I don't think realize that we have a high-end steel window manufacturer right in Ellenville. It's probably the largest private sector employer in Ellenville.
I did not know that.
Great jobs. Lots of they need welders, so anybody who's a welder, give a call to Optimum Windows. They're hiring right now, and they train, so they're good.
That's a great job. You get paid really well being a welder.
Yep. So Ellenville, lots happening. There's also some plans in the works for redevelopment of the Nevele property, which would be really exciting. So we'll see how that all comes to fruition. But yeah, it feels to me, having been in the area for 20 plus years, Ellenville never really got the attention it deserved, but it's getting more and more attention these days, and rightfully so. I think it's a beautiful village nestled between the mountains. It's really a pretty is place. So.
The other one is is it the Winston Farm?
Yeah. So new owners in the last year and a half or so, and they are really breathing new life into the potential of that site. That is an amazing site right off the thruway, a couple hundred acres. And so they've, I think, been working on kind of background planning, just making sure that they understand what can go on the site, and now are starting to get to the point where they're putting together conceptual drawings and actually are starting to announce some potential tenants.
Is there infrastructure on that site at all? I mean, I didn't go to the Woodstock. I was working at Kingston Hospital at the time.
There's porta potties when I was there for Woodstock.
That's, I think,
that's infrastructure.
You don't want to go in there.
Yeah, right. That, I don't think that's going to work for for their future needs. No, they've been. I think the village has been planning an extension of sewer and water out there. Okay. So I know that there are some. The Holiday Inn up there included an extension of some of the utilities to the site. So I think it's right there at the site. So they're really kind of shovel ready. So I think we'll see some progress there too.
Yeah, no, that's good. I mention this every once in a while that nationally, this is our employment issues are prevalent all over the place. Maybe some areas better than others, but as a nation, and if folks don't want to work or they're doing different kinds of work, isn't it time for? And this is not a political statement. This is purely business 101. Another great immigration period. Open up. Legally enroll folks coming from whatever country they want to come from, set up an Ellis Island somewhere, modern version, and say, come on in. We have plenty of work. We want you.
The QR code,
get your QR code for some nice Italian little guy who's going to come over, Southern Italy, because I'm really, at some point we're going to say, hey, where are the folks that are going to keep this country great. You know, where are they?
It's funny you bring that up because that's been a subject that we've been hearing from employers. We've had employers asking, okay, look, we're desperate. We can't fill these positions. Right. How do we use immigrant workforce? Like, how does that even work? And the answer I learned is that it doesn't work. We have a quota for the entire nation can allow 33,000 workers under the H-1B visa program each 6-month periods, 33,000 for the entire country. And so, I think that is not currently a viable supply for workforce. And there are challenges. Obviously, there's a political dimension to this conversation, but the fact is that our employers are desperate for employees.
Forget that. Whoever invented it in the 20s and 30s, Germans, Italians, Irish, Polish, you name it, go down every ethnic, pretty much European, but doesn't matter where. Somebody thought we needed more help to build this country. And we're at that point of saying, well, if the Americans don't want to work or they want to, dabble in Dogecoin, that's a productive... that adds value to society.
But you're right. You're trying to do the right thing. So again, and whether you want to call them illegal, undocumented, whatever you want to call them, the reality is that myself as a business owner, I have to sign an I-9 for every employee that I hire, saying that they are a legal citizen of the United States. That is the verbiage on there. So we have to have a plan for these people, because if you're a business owner who's trying to do the right thing and try to follow the law,
it's
kind of like
it puts employers in a really hard spot, right? I mean, they're forced to either go without workers or do something that's on the edge, if not just outright illegal.
But the other side of it is again, if you're going to let these people in, I mean, listen, I'm just not doing it because I work in a situation where I can't do it. I mean, I understand, the restaurant business may be a little bit different. But you got, there's like no plan for that at all. So you're going to let these people in. There's no thought, and how are they going to contribute to society?
I think COVID obviously kiboshed, because I know the healthcare world for years. Filipino nurses. I remember going to Ireland and thinking, well, we should try to attract some Irish. And we went to Belfast.
I love Belfast.
And so we were thinking, well, I even went to a hospital there, and good time to bring some Irish nurses back, and so this has been in the healthcare world for a long time because there's been shortages, critical shortages, and so now I'm saying, okay, well, somebody's got to start thinking about this, because if the economy wants to go, businesses want to improve. Post-pandemic, we have these supply chain issues because we don't have labor. I mean, go get labor.
Well, so I read I didn't read the whole article. I just kind of read the headline of our new governor. I think she's saying that's what she's suggesting to fix the nurse shortage is to pull from.
We had this conversation. Governor Hochul and I had this conversation.
She regularly goes to Tony as her top advisor.
Funny part about that, just a quick story about that. The last time she was in Kingston, Norman Staffing sponsored the chamber breakfast.
I remember
yes,
that.
yes. That, and I have some really great pictures. I have some really great pictures of her. When she was lieutenant governor. So so we do have a line.
Yeah, you do have a line.
Tony,
I just want to wrap that conversation by saying that is all true, and I think hopefully we will see some reform of our federal immigration policy that makes it possible for some of these employers to bring employees in from other countries. But I think it'll still come back to the same challenge of housing.
You're right.
That we need to be focused on that. We need to realize it's not just housing isn't just a social issue, it's an economic issue that our employers can't compete.
Resources too, and services and everything that goes along with that.
And the fly in the ointment is you need workers to build housing.
This is like
it's a vicious cycle of like what comes first, the chicken or the egg.
So I don't know. I mean, we have a lot of smart minds and great people working on this stuff.
Just a little fun story. So you said that you work for Deloitte, so I work for PwC. I work
competition.
But what's funny is you just reminded me that I worked in Boston, but then I worked in Albany, and I spent one New Year's Eve day at I think it was charade.
In Ellenville?
In Ellenville, counting like widgets or something.
Oh, no way. Interesting.
You would have
counting knives.
Yeah. Counted knives.
Whatever it was, I was
They
counting.
were a knife factory mostly,
Okay.
blades and knives.
Well, then
and
maybe it was some
Schrade
company
is-
out there. Was it on the
Schrade
left-hand
was the
side?
probably right.
Okay. Well, I was counting something. It wasn't fun. I just tend to blank it out.
Yeah, so Tim, thank you for what you're doing, and County Executive Ryan and everyone kind of in the county government working towards solutions. I mean, that's, really, status quo is just not acceptable, and I know you all know that, and so we're all happy to be, part of that team, because we're all in this,
We've got some exciting options too, and I think we've got some, new interest in our area,
that's for sure.
and so it's good.
Yeah, good. All right, we'll see you next month. Hopefully some more news, some good news coming up to the Christmas
Keep you up to
holidays
date.
or
Yeah.
Hanukkah holidays, and so it's an exciting time in the country certainly, and be safe out there, though, right?
Yeah, you guys too. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Tim. All the best. All right, Lawrence, take it away.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Grammer. Wounded Warrior Project supports injured veterans by connecting them with fellow warriors, by serving them through mental health and wellness programs, and by empowering them to live on their own terms. No one should face a battle alone. Join us at woundedwarriorproject.org.
To battle is to fight, to struggle, to overcome, and ultimately for the Marine Corps, it means to win. There is no alternative. It's not just a statement of intent. It's a promise to our nation. A promise kept for more than 2 centuries. A promise of the Marines.
Long ago, you wouldn't think of galloping on a horse while doing calligraphy, and you wouldn't have attempted to ride your bike while typing a letter. Yet you think you can safely operate a multi-ton vehicle while texting? Behind the wheel is no place to multitask. If you want to BRB, drive now and text later. Lives depend on it.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
On top of first-class care, you will never receive a bill. The only thing we had to worry about was just keeping Azalea comfortable. St. Jude saved her life.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Hi, I'm Steve Thomas for Habitat for Humanity Restore. Habitat Restores are nonprofit home improvement stores and donation centers that sell new and gently used furniture, building materials, and appliances to the public at a fraction of the retail cost. The Ulster County Restore at 406 Route 28 in Kingston needs your donations. Call our hotline at 845-853-7499 to schedule your free pickup. And thanks.
Hi, this is Jared Mans from the Spring Lake Fire Department, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
This portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Ulster Savings Bank. Visit their newest branch, conveniently located at the Ulster Commons Plaza in Lake Katrine. Experience the difference that local community banking offers with the convenience of another great location, easy access, plenty of parking, and a 24-hour ATM. Ulster Savings Bank, invested in community, invested in you. Member FDIC.
Yeah. Okay, we're back on, folks. So, man, it's a good thing they don't keep these mics on. I have to tell you, we would be in so much trouble.
We would be in a lot of trouble.
We would be in a lot of trouble, but we're having fun.
Got a lot of blackmail on each other.
So hopefully the folks on the other end of this, receiving end, kind of get the, what we're doing here. We're having fun. We're sharing information. That's what community radio is all about. That's what we're trying to do is get the message out and
supporting
and do
local
it
community, supporting local leaders
supporting
and
each
everything.
other.
Yep.
So this is Thunder Thursday. Flash.
Ba 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 boom.
That's an homage to Scott Harrington, actually.
I actually talked to Scott yesterday.
You did?
He sends love to each
Oh,
of you.
yeah,
I told
good.
him we'd
Yeah,
be
we got
on.
to get him on.
We gotta get him on.
Okay,
He hasn't called in a while.
No, I know that.
I
We'll
got
get him.
kind of jealous of
Fishing.
his
He's out there
fishing
trying to
and
catch
I
a
know.
tuna or
I'm going
something.
to get to go to the house in 2 weeks.
guppy.
and
Oh,
see
you
him.
are?
Yep,
Oh,
Yvonne
cool.
and Scott will both
Oh,
be.
geez, that's going to be
good for
fun.
you.
So, this is Tony Marmo.
This is Val Dwyer. Happy
And-
Thursday.
Happy Thursday. We're joined almost Happy Thanksgiving Thursday. We're not on that day, right? Lawrence?
No,
we don't
we're
do
off
Thanksgiving.
on-
We're off on Thanksgiving.
We're off on.
Aw, what do you mean, aw?
Val, if you want to come in, you can come in all by yourself.
Last year I think
You know
I was
what?
on
I'll give
Christmas
you a mic.
Eve.
You can do it from your house. How's
Remember
that?
last year I was on Christmas Eve.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that was like my first show, I think. Yeah.
So we're joined this half-hour segment by the CEO of Rondout Savings Bank, Cheryl Bowers, and Kathleen Pless. Kathleen, I'm not exactly sure of your title as Chief Operating Officer. Sound good?
Chief Lending Officer.
Oh, okay, that's close enough.
Because you would have just fired somebody else.
Well,
sorry, Susie.
Surprise!
Chief of something.
Caller. We have a caller.
Okay. Okay, good morning, caller. You're on Thunder Thursday. What's your question or comment?
Well, it's a comment that it's the most outstanding program yet.
Thank you, Dr. Paul.
Great job. And you're reminding the people that when we vote, we are electing the people who work for us.
Yes.
We are the people that give them their jobs, and that's true in terms of our education systems and as well as our political systems.
Absolutely.
So I think that, that it's so important that we do what we're supposed to do.
Yes.
Well, you have today, as one of your hosts, one of the greatest examples of what the model of a public servant is, and that's Nina. She does the most outstanding job and is one of the greatest gifts that we have given to our county.
Yeah,
so
you're
keep
right.
up the great show. It has
Thanks.
been outstanding today.
Thanks, Dr. Paul. We appreciate it. Be well. Be safe. Good to talk to you.
Take care. Keep it going.
Thanks. Will do. All right. So, Cheryl, welcome. Kathleen,
you.
welcome.
Thank you.
And I know, but you're kind of sort of new-ish, right?
Yes, I am.
We'll let the boss introduce you a little bit, and then take it wherever you want to take it. We've been talking about the economy. We've been talking about, get out there and vote. Don't be a couch potato. We've been talking about cursing, right? Yeah. Val has actually not only talked about it, she's done it. So.
Oh my goodness.
Can you imagine that,
No,
Cheryl?
I cannot.
Amazing.
Imagine me,
Yeah, imagine me. All
my
right.
my second job as a sailor.
Longshore person.
So-
That's why you're going to
So wait,
Florida.
before you start, I want to mention, I just saw recently that you received an award, the Athena Award from the Dutchess County Chamber of Commerce. So
yes.
congratulations
Thank you.
on that.
Yeah,
That's great.
I'm so honored. Honestly, you get the opportunity to be recognized over time. The Athena Award, anybody that has a daughter would be thrilled to be in the same category. They honor individuals. It doesn't have to just be a woman, but woman or man, that has spent their life in service and promoting the growth of women and helping young women or any woman go to the next level. So I was recognized for that, and and I do mentor women. And I
Has that happened? I mean, was there a dinner already? Or
it'll
is it
be on
upcoming?
December 2nd.
Okay, that's what- yeah, that's-
in Dutchess County. So they're getting to the place of where it's going to be in the details of the event. But so yeah, I mean, you get a lot of opportunity to be looked at, but this one is
great.
a super honor, and I was thrilled to tell my daughter because it gives her something else to strive for too.
Yeah, and I think that's so important because your kids are always watching, right?
Always watching.
Yes, they are.
And you can, it's kind of cool when they have somebody to look up to like that.
It's true.
So
yeah, I want to just take a quick second and introduce Kathleen. Kathleen Pless, she joined the Rondout family team about 3 weeks ago now, Kathleen?
Yes.
Relocated from New Jersey to be a
Wow.
Kingston resident.
wow, good for you.
Congrats.
We're in New Jersey.
Bergen County.
Okay, nice.
So I'm a Jersey girl through and through, but I'm transforming myself to a true New Yorker.
Good.
3 weeks?
Good,
That's pretty good.
Well, New Jersey,
Well,
New
Bergen-
York.
but
it's,
Bergen
it's
is
a little
hop, skip,
different.
jump.
Yeah. It's not like Tennessee
we're-
or, Kansas. So,
Yeah.
But
it's
honestly,
fine.
we're going to get her a T-shirt, Upstate and Chill, because
Yes.
Yeah.
her kids said she's actually more calm. and
Really?
she said
Yes.
people are nicer here,
In
and
the water.
Good,
We-
good,
you know,
yeah.
we're nice. We hug.
Yeah. Where in Bergen were you?
Ramsey.
In Ramsey. Okay. I used to work in Paramus Ridgewood area, running one of the Care One nursing homes.
Yep, same vicinity.
Yeah.
So where did you decide to locate in Ulster County or?
Right in the city of Kingston.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Welcome. You're a neighbor.
Yes.
Welcome. Good.
Yes, and I'm happy to be here.
Good. Yeah, there's a lot of cool. I don't know if you've had an opportunity. I know we're getting off track, but check out a lot of the restaurants.
This is the track. We're on the track.
A lot of great restaurants all through the city, and so we're very lucky. Our area is very lucky with that.
Yeah, there's a varied cuisine here, which is really thrilling to experiment.
But honestly, I mean, I just came from Staten Island, you know, at my uncle's veteran shindig that he had there, and I mean, look, the food in the city is. Please don't. I hope I don't get like poisoned the next time I go out to any restaurant. It's just different and better than generally. First of all, it's open up later. Generally, I'm not saying all the time. There's some outstanding restaurants, but the slices of pizza you get down there,
I knew you were going to pizza.
I
knew you were going to
I mean, that thing is like a half a pie. It's one slice down here for like $3. All right.
But you don't get the local people hugging you.
No, I know. Danny Savona.
Thank you. Happy birthday, Danny Savona.
Oh, right. Happy birthday.
I hope you heard Tony Marmo talking about somebody else's pizza.
Down in New York City.
How many times are you going to wish this guy happy birthday?
I didn't say his pizza was bad.
Happy birthday.
I just said compared to New York City and Staten Island and the boroughs.
Did Mom ever teach you this?
No.
Quit while you're ahead.
Yeah. Okay. I had another thought, but it was probably not going to advance the mission here.
It's the mission.
But anyway, welcome.
Thank you.
You know, I mean, I'm thrilled to have Kathleen on a business level, but even on a personal level, she's given me a new set of eyes because she'll keep saying, "Oh, people are so nice here. Oh, it's so nice. It's beautiful here."
It's that you don't sometimes
you don't see, you take for granted.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, the people in office. If you're driving down 17, you might see people flipping the bird every 2 seconds.
There's no KCR.
No, it goes. People are at a very fast pace down there, right?
Very aggressive.
Yeah, assertive, aggressive. Yeah, but up here, not so much.
Appreciating the scenery up here is like being in Manhattan and never going to the Statue of Liberty. Right.
So you've landed in, one of our greatest local banks, right? Ever since for 156 years, or how many?
153.
Oh, I was close.
You're getting,
I'm getting close.
That's good. It's very good.
So I'm sure that's a whole different experience, unless you came from a small community background, banking background. My guess is not.
I have gone from large regional bank to progressively smaller banks over the course of my career. And I love the community bank environment.
Good.
I love how we're so close to everyone in the community, and what we do helps everyone improve their lives.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly.
Good.
Yeah,
That's
good for
awesome.
you. Yeah, you're making the right progression, and kudos to you for hiring.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm
Absolutely.
thrilled.
So
that's great.
Tell us about what your thoughts are about what's going on, either locally, economically, or at a regional level. I know you're involved with a lot of regional boards too.
Yeah, I mean, locally, business is better this year than we've seen at the bank, at least in the last 3 or 4 years.
Better than 2019?
Better than 2017, 18, 19.
No kidding.
Yeah, as far as people, taking that quantum leap and start, breaking ground for construction, big construction projects, or, making that real estate purchase from a tenancy position. So we are seeing, and we're thrilled and grateful, and I knock wood, because, things change overnight. So business, especially on the commercial side, is extremely better. We're very thrilled to say that our retail borrowers have come back, we don't have the
people saving more?
Oh, tremendously more. Yeah, I mean, a typical.
What do you think that's all about?
I think
interesting.
Some of it, I think, stemmed from the fear of what's next. I want to keep that extra war chest just in case. And then we say, oh, we're going to travel again, but not how difficult it is to go to a Caribbean island right now. So that didn't happen, and I think there was a lot of stimulus money. I mean, that people.
Yeah.
Right.
Think about especially those that don't even work right now.
They're getting more money than they did before.
Be it seniors and I'm glad for the seniors, let me put that little denotation. And others that there's, so many jobs. Our biggest challenge right now is we have no labor force to draw from. I'm sure anybody that sat in the seat before me has said the same thing.
Tim Weidemann, we've been talking about this forever.
So were you short tellers?
Everywhere.
Or everywhere?
Yeah, across the board.
Yeah. We raised our minimum wage, and it sounds funny to say that, but to $15, right? So going beyond.
Yeah.
Because the minute we get to 15, Walmart stock and shelves is $18.20.
Right.
So then you keep this going, and so you do what you can do, the best you can. What we have is a phenomenal work environment, right, which most other companies can't say and really mean,
Right.
But that doesn't put food on the table. And when you look at the cost to fill your gas tank right now, my gas tank, it took me $25 more to fill than it would have
Oh, Lord, love
a
it,
year
Doc.
ago.
If you're paying premium gas, you're like...
Yeah, and think about if you have a job where you have to commute, have a little bit of a commute, that makes a huge difference. And also, if you do have a job where you have to commute a lot, and we live in the Northeast, you kind of need a vehicle, like you might a big one, like an SUV, or, because of the snow or whatever.
It's like 6.5 miles to a gallon.
Something like that.
Around there.
Yeah.
I have one, I know.
So are there labor issues down in Bergen? I would guess there is. There's just a lot more businesses too, right? I mean,
so it's more densely populated, and like you said, more businesses, but proportionately, we were experiencing the same problems.
Yeah, I think it's a national.
I think
it's a national issue.
Yes.
Yeah.
It really is. There might be pockets in like Idaho where
Well, no, that's what I was
nobody
going to
lives.
say. I was out in South Dakota and Wyoming this year, and they said they had the same problems, but everything's relative. I personally like being in a restaurant or whatever. I didn't see there was an issue with getting your food on time, things like that. Like actually Starbucks was a little.
We were in Austin, and I didn't feel it either.
Yeah, I didn't feel it.
There was plenty of staff, and there were it wasn't like every other restaurant said, help wanted, closed on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
No, that's the thing that gets me.
I noticed that in Wildwood over the summer. We went for vacation, and they're only open a couple of days a week.
That answer is because of lack of international visas.
True.
Usually you get some Eastern Europeaners, like seasonal workers and from South America coming up. This happened at Mohonk as well
exactly
this year.
Right.
And all these resort places, and Wildwood and the shore uses a lot of international help over the summer. They didn't get those folks.
Exactly right.
So there's some big gaps that are happening. But, that said, folks are fairly optimistic, right, in terms of I would say cautiously optimistic. But there's still a big gap of folks in need.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
I mean, and your bank, Rondout
the divide is bigger than it was, to be honest.
The haves and have-nots, we talk about it every once in a while. So there's a huge group of people that are going without that, this time of the season, especially holidays coming up, we have the Happy Christmas Fund next week. Helping people in need is like paramount. So better in this county than Bergen County. I should say that. I'm sure they have a very giving community there too, but there's so many people kind of going through Bergen County, just kind of, but this county has a history of support and togetherness.
There's a core that keeps an eye on everything. All walks of life, all businesses, all not-for-profits. And there's a core of us. I'm proud to be in the core, just like Ulster Savings and many other businesses. Giving Bill, I'm giving you a plug. You better reciprocate next week.
He gives you plugs, too.
I know he does. And that's the beauty of it, actually. When you can work together, you can do more. But we give 10% of our bottom line earnings back to the communities we serve.
That's amazing.
So we're thrilled that, when we do make a profit, we share our profit. Everybody wins. And it's a mutual bank model, which that's how we're chartered, and that's exactly like a credit union with one humongous difference.
Yes, we know that difference.
They don't pay taxes, and we do. But that's not against any of my credit.
Right.
That's not against my credit union friends, but it's actually our giving is built right into our bylaws.
Model.
Our bylaws.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
So we put our money where our mouth is as far as, we're going to donate 10% of our earnings back to the communities we serve.
Right.
So the better we do, the better our community can do, and that's why it's so important for us to hit our goals and do the things we do.
Yeah.
And we don't cut staff to the bone. We're a little bit fatter on the bone than others because you can give
Well,
better
you can
service.
get them, by the way.
Yeah, if we can get them.
Exactly.
So,
I'm interested. I'm very surprised, I guess, to hear you say that, you know, startup and construction and on the commercial side it's busy, because I feel like this is really a very brave time.
It is.
To do that. I mean, and well,
so
I mean,
and you're in the construction world, Arrow Construction. So what are you saying? What in terms of
my situation's different because my
Your
customer
specific-
base is pretty much 100% municipal. So my biggest
Okay.
customer is New York State. So that's a different.
It is.
It's a different thing.
Yeah, it's a different world, yeah.
Than a brick and mortar store.
Yeah.
I can go, you know, anywhere in the Northeast and work. It's not, you know, it's not like a store. So, you know, especially like the building with the price of lumber and the price of everything and just like the unknown of the economy and where we're headed. And so that's really, I'm very
So
surprised, and it's a very brave.
I think of one project that we're working on right now, and, I mean, they purchased the land probably 3 years ago, you know, with the intention of there
Okay.
not being a pandemic. And this vision and mission and belief has to get, you know, they have to execute on it. And it's going to be a fabulous project and great for our community. And they're putting, you know, and we talked about the price of lumber and we talked about the price of steel and
availability of same, right?
and the bottom line is we start now, or you know, when is the right best time? And
Probably
you
never.
factor in. I mean, we're finding on the consumer side on homes, construction in homes, they need to come back to us and get more money because the same exact plans with no change orders
Yeah.
are 30% more expensive.
Yeah.
Is that because of supply issues typically?
Yeah, I mean,
or
it costs
materials
a
issues?
plank
Materials.
of
Yeah.
a plank of wood is
Whatever.
$100 instead of $33.
And I also think probably, if I had to guess, the construction companies are in that particular industry of building are, I mean, try getting one. They're so busy.
So busy.
So busy. So what happens when you're busy? Your prices go up. And they're busy because probably a lot of them are having labor issues.
Exactly right.
And then also on top of the labor issues, you have, you know, people that are wanting to get things done and
people have, you know, amassed some
Renovations
wealth,
or-
right, that they might not have had before. They're not going on a vacation, so they're putting that addition on.
In
or
their
they're putting
house,
a pool
exactly.
on, you know, the pool house or whatever. And we're finding that to be true. I mean, obviously, every home here the values have escalated, so you can draw some equity out of your home.
Are you
and
finding a lot of home equity line of credits being taken out on the homes as the prices have?
yeah, because
risen?
the equities.
And
the
because the
rates
interest
are
rates
still
are so low.
stinking
Yeah,
low.
and that'll be interesting because I know a couple years when that happened, then when things kind of dropped, we had a lot of foreclosures and.
I don't think you'll see the values go down like you did
I don't
after
either.
But if
08.
interest rates tick up, you might see some other kind of volatility.
Well, cash flow.
There's also the emotional aspect, and the pandemic has forced people to establish more emotional equity in their homes, which
Yeah,
is
right.
why they're doing the pools and the additions and the interior
very good
renovations.
point.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that will, I think, help hold values.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah,
probably
that's a
true.
good
And at least in this area, the more migration from the metropolitan area up north this
Yes.
way kind of keeps prices.
Well, what we've found is a lot of what's called a 1031. That means you sell a piece of property down in Brooklyn, and you
Yeah,
buy a place
like
here for
kind-
cash.
Yeah, exchange,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
tax
yeah, yeah.
reasons.
You've got so much cash in your wallet, you buy the real estate here, and then you over-improve it, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
even in a foreclosure event, you're not going to let your first initial $500,000 investment go away,
You're
right?
right.
You know, so it's a lot different than the house of cards that we built in, you know, after the last crisis.
Yeah, right. The housing.
finding-
subprimes.
Are you finding that, like, let's say this migration of people from the city, are you finding that they're walking into a hometown bank like Rondout Savings and investing their, you know, putting their money with you and taking out loans with you? Or do you feel like they're more likely going to like a Bank of America where they may already have an established banking relationship? Like, how's it?
So that's a great question. So it's an absolute 50 blend. So most of the time they walk in to do business with us on any borrowing need, and we realize they're with Chase or B of A, right? And then we eventually they realize that you can get the same digital services, and you know how it takes a little while to get unwind from a deposit relationship. But even if they're buying the real estate for cash, they're coming to Rondout for the home equity, or they're coming to Rondout for a cash refi out. What we're finding mostly is the experience. It's very experiential. If you've decided to uproot yourself from the metropolitan area and you're coming up to, upstate and chill, you certainly want to deal with a company that's you can talk to the CEO.
Right.
Or
the lobby door is not locked.
Right. So there's that, and I think
big deal.
Yeah.
And I think too. When we're fortunate enough to get millennials to bank with us, and stay in our community, they don't even have to stay in our community anymore. They can bank with us from all around the world. They want the experience. They want to be able, I'll give you an example. My son moved to Austin, and he calls to break the news to me, like he was going to, I don't know what he was going to tell me. He was going to tell me that he established a banking relationship with a community bank in Austin, and I need to close my business checking and he's breaking it to me. I said, it's okay, buddy, Mom's still going to get a paycheck on Friday.
But you'll still get a Christmas present.
Right, yeah, you're still in the will, don't worry.
But it was that important to him. We had dinner with our core provider of the bank, one of the CEOs there, lives in Austin. So we had dinner with him, and I introduced him to my son, and so my son actually asked him, well, what community bank should I do business with? And he goes in and, meets them and establishes this relationship, and then, which I thought was terrific.
Yeah.
If you want to establish yourself in a community, no matter how big the community is, at Austin, Texas, or Kingston, New York, get to the core and the root, and get the context. And so he called to break it to me that he's moving to this, community bank. He goes, but they're your like size, and I got to meet the CEO. And so I do believe, and there's, he's your classic entrepreneurial millennial. And so there's a value add to the experience they get in getting, he got to meet the chief lending officer, and he got to meet the CEO.
Absolutely.
And that's a big deal.
Yeah, it is a big deal. That's great. Good.
So if you put your, forecasting hat on, Nostradamus for the next 6 months or so.
No pressure.
Yeah.
Amazing Chris.
I'll let you take that one, Kathleen.
Here you go.
Community radio. Yeah, go ahead.
What are you seeing over the? Let's take it to mid 22, June 22. Where are we in June 22?
Well, let me say what I think about rates. I think rates are more likely to start climbing third or fourth quarter of 2022, but my expectation is not a trajectory that's, straight up and crazy. But even a quarter here, half there, 3 quarters, it starts to change mindsets. Mm-hmm. Armageddon is if this inflationary pricing keeps going at the pace it is, and interest rates start to really climb. Because we can't keep salaries up at that pace.
Right.
The employer, the employer,
Just
can't
pure
keep
math
the salary.
of that is bad.
The math.
Right.
My expectation or confidence is that we will control rates as an economy to a place of not that trajectory where they, the 70s and 80s where all the SNL and all that was going on.
That's left to the rocket scientists and the federal government.
I don't believe they're rocket scientists.
I don't either.
What are your thoughts, Kathleen?
What do you think?
I think that we are going to see some moderate rate increases going into this year. I'm anticipating that they will happen as we approach mid-year, and I am also concerned about the inflation. I think that's going to be a big problem. I am not one of the rocket scientists. I can't forecast, but
Lauren, I hired you for that reason.
And the only variable there might be midterm elections, right? In terms of where the country is in terms of that process of midterm, So it's going to be interesting. Because we know the political backdrop always influences the economic, right? Mm-hmm. Pretty much, and so I think that's probably true. What do you think? You're on top of this stuff.
I think that at some point I think the government has kind of kept things afloat by growing the balance sheet, but I think everything is it's inflated right now, and at some point, I hate to be
Debbie Downer?
Yeah, but I think it's got to naturally correct itself.
But if the government keeps throwing $3 trillion, $2 trillion.
Well, it's a synthetic
inflation,
yes,
and I think that's what's kept the market afloat, the stock market afloat, is that
that's what scares me.
Yeah,
the market.
And I think once they start tapering off on the bonds and the debt and.
Exactly right.
If we keep trading cryptocurrency, we're not adding any value to anything other than if we keep trading cryptocurrency and Bitcoin.
Now you're not speaking like a millennial now.
But
that stuff just eats my brain.
I'm reading a book just to figure it out.
I can't with that. It's just too.
I know.
It's like going to the arcade and your kid gets all those tickets.
Yeah.
Like millions and millions of tickets, and they get this little rubber ball. And these tickets around the whole vacation.
Like, that cost me $120.
Let's translate that back to what I spent. Oh, $250 for this little bouncy ball.
Go to the skeet ball.
And I know I sound so antiquated, but when I think of cryptocurrency, that's where my brain goes is like
you get these
3,000 skee ball tickets that I spent $200 on.
And you can only use them in one place.
Right. And if they're yellow or orange, you can only use these.
Yeah.
And you get this bouncy ball, and the kid cries because they bounce it. It goes down the street. We're done. And my $200 is gone.
So
okay, I'm old.
Look, thank God.
Hopefully they had alcohol in that arcade.
We have about a minute. So, Kathleen, we want to welcome you to the community.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you. You've landed in Nirvana.
Yes.
Both employment-wise and geographically and pizza-wise.
Yes.
I'm gonna eat my words a little bit. I'm redeeming.
Okay.
Can I make one plug? On Saturday, the whole bank is coming out to be in My Kingston Kids parade, the Halloween festival and parade. And it's a parade that starts at the Kingston Plaza, ends at the Y, and there's a big festival at the Y. There's booths, there's games, there's prizes. There's over 875 participants signed up. It's supposed to pour rain, but it's going on, rain or shine.
Okay.
And we're the premier sponsor of it because, again, we like to invest in our community.
Put your money where your mouth is, Cheryl. Thank you.
Bring your umbrella and rain poncho. Come join us.
All dressed up, a float. We have the choice to be a witch, a pumpkin, or a ghost. You can decide what I would be. La 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 la.
We're gonna ask Tim. Well, yeah, Glenda the good witch.
Tim's an evil pumpkin.
All right. Well, thank you very much,
Thank you. Welcome to our
Cheryl
community.
and Kathleen. Thank you so much for all you do. Maybe see you next Thursday at Christmas
tell
Fun.
Scott Harrington that we send our love.
Everyone, be kind, be safe. Go do a random act of kindness. Be kind. Be kind to everybody. All right. Well, Lawrence, take it away. Thank you.